Okay. Trying to get out before the wind. Today's like the one day that's not supposed to be super windy, and it's already super windy. Kind of just on a solo mission this morning. Saturday, I don't normally ride on a Saturday, but tomorrow, crazy, I know, is going to be windy. Oh, this bike sounds good. Yeah, so just gonna head to Franchuk and try and get some laps in. Try and make the video that I was supposed to make last time before my shifter broke. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Last time I was in Franchuk, the road was a little bit gravelly. They're doing a lot of construction there, so it's not exactly the greatest condition. But the other option is Clarence Drive or Royals, and that is right next to the mountain, next to the sea, so you get insane wind super early. So yeah, Franchuk it is. Trying to really catch up and forth now with the front lowered down is a little bit more difficult. Need to give it a lot more revs to get it up. Yeah, that was quite a lot before. The wind is pushing me wide. Okay, let's go. Damn, look how smooth this is. It's like a flipping racetrack over there. This wasn't done last time. Yo, nice. Oh, this is so cool. I really hope they do the whole pass like this. It's like new racetrack tar. Oh, this is cool. I've been riding for 10 years now and this road has never been retarred, so this is flipping insane. Oh, it's quite cold here. And windy. Oh man, this is going to be so nice when it's done. And this hole's gone now. Yo. That's the end of that. Yo, that's cool. Gonna take a chilled sighting lap just to check the condition of the road. So I have done a lot of roadworks here, obviously. It's very cold. It's dropped 6 degrees. It was 25 down there. It's now 19. Oh, this is new. Nice. Oh, I hope they fix this bridge part. Yay. Whoa, that's a bit intense. Okay, let's see what the rest of the road condition is like. Oh, stop and go over here. Interesting. Or not. And it's even colder now, 17. Oh, cuts in the road. It's not nice. And this guy broke down. That's a terrible place to park. Yeah, I don't think this road is going to be rideable for quite a long time. Oh cool, this whole corner is done. That's so nice. Oh man, this is a flipping racetrack corner now. Sick. Oh man, look at this. Bit of stones in the road. Smoother than the fucking Kalani. Another cut in the road. Although saying smoother than Kalani doesn't say much. Fucking gravel road is smoother than Kalani. Yeah, unfortunately, till this is done, this road is not rideable. Okay, well, I'm just going to get to the bottom and then I'm going to hop off the bike and do a little walk around update of the mods, and yeah, I'll catch you there. Make sure my my shifter isn't falling off. Okay. Okay, so like I said last time, I've made quite a few changes. Well, not quite a few, but most notably, I have lowered the front, well, pulled the fork through the top triple clamp by 3 rings, which what that does is basically tilts the bike more forward, shortens the wheelbase very slightly, and will make your tip in and turn in very quick and sharp, and it feels really good. Like, I almost think it's like a must-do mod. Obviously the MT10's a flipping wheelie machine, and with the forks at the standard height, super easy to wheelie. So just dropping it down a bit just feels a little bit better, makes the bike handle like you would expect it to handle. So yeah, definitely must do mod. And then secondly is the R1 rear sets. So yeah, I swapped out the rear set and the rear master cylinder from a 2015 R1, and what that does is it actually just brings the foot peg back by about a centimeter and up by about 3. So the standard foot peg was about here, so forward and down, and this brings it up and back, and to be honest, feels really good, very comfortable still. In the corners it feels amazing with the front dropped and your feet up high. It feels really nice and natural in the corners now. Not quite like a Tuono, but still really good. Yeah, it was pretty much plug and play. I got this off eBay for about $200. No, sorry, $110, which is pretty good. Came with the footrest, I mean the rear brake, master cylinder, the bottle, all of that stuff. You basically just unplug the rear brake switch, take the banjo bolt off, put that on, tighten it up, it's good to go. And then I used the bracket from my standard rear sets, which actually comes from about here, and just mounted it to this back one. I'm actually debating if I want to just cut this somehow and bring this down to here, so the exhaust is a bit more in and it's hard mounted to this, but this is pretty stout, so I think it's fine, to be honest. Yeah, and then on the other side, like you saw in my previous video, I didn't get the shifter from the R1 rear sets, unfortunately, so a friend of mine gave me the shifter from his spare set of R1 rear sets, which is fully adjustable, and it's working fine now. I didn't tighten that last time and this whole thing basically came off. Yeah, I'm gonna get these poly coated in black at some point. To be honest, I don't actually mind the red, but everything else is black. And then yeah, the other thing was the master cylinder upgrade. So this master cylinder is off a 2014 or 15 Daytona. I can't remember. 2013 to 2015 675 Daytona. It's a Brembo 19mm master. Perfect. Really increased the braking power and the feel. It's more the feel than the braking power. So the brakes still feel just as strong. The standard master cylinder was actually quite good. It's just there wasn't much feel from it. So now this has good stopping power from the first bite, and you can just modulate it nicely. And then I actually just used the bracket from the R1 brake raise that came with, and just made a brake raise bracket for the front. And then yeah, Motul RBF 660 race fluid, perfect. So yeah, the bike is pretty much done, to be honest. There's nothing else I'd really gonna do anymore. I'm still debating about changing the shock and the fork spring out, but I don't know if I'm gonna bother, to be honest. The bike's pretty good as it is, and if all goes to plan, I won't be using it on the track. I can just use something else on the track and leave this nice and comfortable for the road. So yeah, pity this road is a bit messed up. I was really hoping to get some laps in. I haven't ridden this road properly in quite a long time now. Like, probably before winter. Before winter, before the roadwork started. Oh man. And now, because I got here so early, thinking I would do some laps, nothing is open. So I don't even know if I can get any breakfasts. Let's see. Oh wait, there's no bootleggers Franchuk. Ah, it's open. Oh, it opens 15 minutes ago. Perfect. Alright, well, I'm gonna cruise back up the mountain, and that's probably going to be it for this video. Next ride I will do will either be next weekend if it's not flipping windy. I'll have to go to Royals, and then after that will most likely be track day. I think it's the 22nd of November today, and there's a track day on the 6th of December, so 2 weeks or so. Yeah, that will probably be the next track day. Yeah, I don't know, getting a bit lazy with the videos, to be honest. I don't know if people even enjoy these riding videos, but this road is now fucked, and other road is nice, but you can't ride it all the time. Gets a bit boring. And other than that, there's not really any other nice riding roads around. I do want to do some slightly longer rides out into the countryside. There's some decent roads out there, but it's really long rides, so it just needs a bit of planning. And unfortunately in Cape Town in December, all the tourists from around the world are here, so traffic gets pretty insane. That's why I came so early as well. This road also gets pretty busy, especially towards the middle of the day. So yeah, anyway, lots and lots of rambling. I will catch you on the next video. Cheers.